talking about kolachi. Look at how pretty this is.
Oh.
Now, a kolachi is an Eastern European sweetbread that is often filled with some sort of cream or treats. And do you see how moist that is inside? It's M66445. If you already know what a kolachi is, there is no reason to even wait on ordering because these are just back in stock and they sold out the last day that they were presented in March. And in fact, it is actually hard for us to present this frequently on QVC because they are a small Ohio company and they're fourth generation family owned. And this is old world traditional ways of making this. So you're going to receive 2 of the 12 ounce in the walnut. And then you're going to receive 1, as we go down, of each of these flavors. So 1 in the poppy.
So good.
Really tasty. And then 1 in the pecan. And it's $34.50, 3 easy payments of $11.50, and free shipping and handling always. Now, I don't have auto delivery on this or anything like that. As I mentioned, you rarely actually see this on QVC simply because, you know, we often have huge orders and huge order numbers, and with a small company, they can't necessarily do that all the time. I have fewer than 2,000 to go around. Look at the poppy, and I love that you said that it looks like a Swiss roll to you, Alberti.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's great about these, too, is that every single one of these is individually hand-rolled, right? So you can imagine the work and the effort that goes into each one of these. The dough on them, so when you see these, by the way, you get 12 slices out of each. So if you're getting 4 of them, that's 48 servings or 48 slices. So they're great for tea, they're great for coffee. The breading, or that cake on the outside and all the way throughout, it's so soft.
Yeah.
It just melts in your mouth. And the flavor, there's more filling than breading on each one of these, right? So if you're like me and you grew up, you know, Eastern European with a lot of different, you know, types of Eastern European soft, delicate desserts, that's what this is, but it's so decadent and delicious. And I gotta say, the price on this is really fantastic for a set of 4.
Yeah.
3 payments of $11.50. They come boxed, so you could give them as gifts. And they're great to be able to just store. Now, I believe that you can actually store these in your freezer for 6 months.
Yeah, and you know what? As you mentioned in terms of it being like an Eastern European treat, while it is a, quote, sweet bread, it is not overly sweet
No,
at
not at all.
You know, it's just a hint of sweetness, sweet enough. And then when you've got like the walnuts, the beautiful walnuts, or the pecans is the one that you're tasting, or the one that happens to be filled with poppy. But what I love is that you don't have to choose. You're actually getting all 3 of those flavors. And, you know, please use QVC.com because, as I mentioned, the telephone experience right now, it might be a little bit of a wait. So it's always great to go to QVC.com or use your QVC apps. Each one of these is 12 ounces. As Alberti said, 12 pieces from each one. You're looking at 48 slices. That's like 72 cents a slice. And so I don't know what bakery you could kind of go to right now and get a slice of kolachi for that price.
Yeah, and it's a pastry.
And it's a pastry, exactly. Yeah. And in fact, we're not even necessarily going to that many places right now. So 2 of them in the walnut. We've got 1 of them in the poppy and then 1 of them in the pecan. We only have 1,500 now to go around. And as you said, Alberti, if you're already familiar with kolachi, you know the process it takes, that it is a multi-stepped cooking process. And this recipe, by the way, 150-year-old recipe, and they are all handmade, thus why when we were talking to our buyers earlier, they were like, it's just rarely that we're able to bring these to you.
Well, we haven't seen it since March.
Yeah, it takes a long time, right? Marie-Louise, though, is one of our guests, and she brings us the kolachi by Maid. I should have said that at the top because that means there's a lot of butter in here. Marie-Louise, nice to talk to you.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Alberti.
Hi, Marie-Louise.
Here. Hi, Alberti.
So you know what, as we were just at the top, let's start there. We said a kolachi is an Eastern European pastry, and a little bit about Maid, but can you share a little bit more?
Yeah, Maid Bakery, going to Ohio, my home state, 5th generation small family owned and operated bakery. Their products are all handmade the old-fashioned way for over 150 years. This started with the great-grandfather making his recipes and taking them by horse and buggy around on the cobblestone streets.
Wow.
and now they are still baking them the same way. No automation here to create this rich, sweet, cream, buttery dough. It's a process. It takes time. It has to rise. It has to be knocked down. They roll them all out by hand with wooden rolling pins. They measure them, and then they create these delicious fillings using the finest ingredients: real sugar, honey, butter, eggs, nuts, and milk directly. All these things come directly from the farm.
Yeah.
And the one that's the most popular,
Walnut.
the walnuts, they actually take these English walnuts and they grind them to order right there in the bakery. That makes sure you've got just the essence of all the oils and everything to make this really pop and delicious.
So that was the walnut flavor. Tell me about the poppy and the pecan. How did those come about?
The pecan, I think it's one of my favorites. It is like a pecan pie wrapped up in the sweet cream buttery dough. It truly is that taste of the cinnamon and the sugar and the pecans and everything mixed together. And then the poppy seed is truly a traditional old world favorite. I know my grandmothers and aunts would make those. A lot of people perhaps haven't tried them, but it's a kind of a mix of bitter and sweet come together, and the poppy seeds are crushed. I like to say Butter Maid is truly baking a memory. Like Alberti says, so many of us grew up with these, watching our mothers and grandmothers and aunts making them. The tradition has kind of gone away. So how wonderful to be able to get this from a fifth-generation family where they're baking them absolutely the same way. It's like having grandma back in your house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marie-Louise,
you know what?
You know why the tradition went away, Marie-Louise?
It's too
'Cause
labor
it's hard
intensive.
to make.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't have the
Exactly.
time. Like, I remember when my grandma, my Nana used to make it, but I don't have the time. Let me give you an update of what's going on. So we've sold over 1,000 of these. That's half of our quantity, what we brought in. We have another 1,000 people who are already on the line right now. The best way to get them to your home, and this is a perfect bill to ship to. And speaking of baking memories, Marie-Louise, send this to somebody who you know loves kolachi, and they'll always be remembering you, right? Or send this to your Nana who made them for you, or send this to your daughter to start a new tradition. $34.50. It's 3 easy payments of $11.50, and you're receiving all of this. So each one making 12 slices, 12 ounces a piece, 2 in the #1 bestseller, the most beloved walnut, and then you'll get 1 in that poppy and then 1 in the pecan. Shipping to you, Marie-Louise. Will you let us know, these are supposed to be enjoyed at room temperature, but how long will they last in a freezer, friend?
6 months.
6 months. Thank you, my dear. Stay safe. We can't wait to talk to you soon.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Alberti's cooking.
Oh, you know it. And today we're doing it with the most utilized protein in your freezer, and that is the ground beef. Well, we're bringing it to you today.